Sideline of ball. Lakewood are doing it. They're gonna take. He's gonna bring down 30. Along with a double kill. Dropping fast. Final points there. He's still alive. Wait, 2 seconds, man. He's got 1 second. He's got a second. He's taking it out. They're all died on 3. They're all dead.
Hello everyone and welcome back. We have made it finally to the last and final best of one for you. From top to bottom we had a lot of action-packed Dota. We had great comebacks, great fights, great plays, a stomp here or there. And we're going to go ahead and take it home now and wrap things up with Cloud9 taking on the Balkan Bears. Bringing you the coverage is myself, Coddle Guy, of course, in the English language. And by my side it's going to be no one else than Blaze. Blaze, we've made it to game number 7 here. I'm ready to take it on home. How you feeling, man? You with me? You ready to do it?
Feeling good, man. The finish line is in sight. We're going around the corner, and we're going to see an awesome game of Dota to round it out here. Of course, we see the Visage opener. You know what's going to be followed. It's the Drow Ranger. We got the C9, Visage Drow Strat, hard push, lots of physical damage, all on the back of this Precision Aura. That's what it's all about here. Also, interesting little bands here. The first band, Medusa and Spirit Breaker. Not sure if those would be the heroes to put the wrench in the works, but if they were, Cloud9 obviously going to take those out readily. But it seems almost like throwaway bands. I mean, you ban out Axe, Medusa, and Spirit Breaker. I respect the heroes for what they're capable of, but they don't follow a single line of thought that I can see.
I'm just getting these feeling that Cloud9, they feel very confident at this point. The Balkan Bears opted to not ban the Visage early on, instead opted to get rid of that brew. So of course that just makes for an easy peasy Visage grab right there. Followed up with the casual Drow, and now Cloud9 have one of their old tried and true tactics already in the making, and maybe they don't feel very pressured whatsoever, and maybe the only thing that can kind of put them off is something that's quite outside the box. And these kind of heroes that have been picked up already by Balkan Bears, including Axe and Spirit Breaker, might be just the tool that they could go for something, a little bit more spicy that Cloud9 might not be ready for.
Sure. I mean, it is worth noting that Spirit Breaker and Axe both close the distance on Drow very nicely if she doesn't gust them away in time, and that disables her marksmanship, which takes a lot of her potential out. She's also a very squishy hero HP-wise, so a quick dunk and taking her out of the fight could completely turn things. The final thing I'll mention about that Axe band is that the Visage Familiars is the big thing about Cloud9's pickup here, and they are affected by counter helix. In fact, if the Visage Birds are attacking that Axe, they're going to be proccing it so rapidly. Yeah. And I think they can be Berserkers called as well, though I haven't really tested that out very well. Either way, Axe and Gyro can clear out Familiars nicely, and they are both going to be taken out here.
I believe they can be Berserker called. They showed that recently in a Star Ladder match, and it really showed how Axe can be a great counter towards someone like a Visage. But there's going to be a ban call out right here. The Gyrocopter going to be taken away from the Balkan Bears, and on the side of the Balkan Bears, they ban out the Centaur War Runners, so removing a bit of that excess, offlane that could be grabbed from Bone 7. Though Precious Batrider is still in the pool and available if they want. They could get someone to bring in some initiation lockdown to allow someone like Drow in a good position to be able to unload with her right click, so something to look forward to.
I think high-tempo range heroes is what you want to take out in general here. The Centaur, I can value it. The Stampede does affect Familiars, so they would be just absolutely nipping at your heels constantly, and that would be very scary to deal with. I'm not so sold on the Legion Commander, though. I don't think that would have been that big of a deal. It works, but so many other things work for Cloud9. And I think they're going to be looking at maybe, that Batrider for Bone 7, as you mentioned. I could look at Fada's Puck, very powerful for the instant silence against Dazzle, and of course he is a ranged hero that can benefit a ton from a couple of early points of right-click damage from that Precision Aura. So I think he'd be very well suited, and is of course still on the table.
Who else is on the table still is Meepo. Could be picked up here potentially. Weehaw. We have yet to really see it firsthand on what it can get done. It's been quite a while. In the last game, he did run with the Invoker play, which he can definitely put some serious work with, but I don't know. It looks like here as they get a Lich now, they have two pretty selfless supports. And I don't know if they're going to be the ones to pick up a Morphling here and kind of do the same thing we saw with Team Tinker doing with the dual lane setup mid. It's very defensive, though, nonetheless. I'm not seeing a lot of aggression come out from these two supports. And Cloud9 got to feel a little bit more secure as far as what they're going to be able to bring together for a mid lane for Fata. He's not going to be pressured too much by early movement, it looks like.
Cloud9.
Nice combo here. The Lich gives Ice Armor, which mitigates the physical damage. That's going to be so prominent out of Cloud9's lineup. And then the Blur from Phantom Assassin will avoid a significant chunk of that physical damage. So these two heroes combined together should create somebody that will be able to deal with these threats. Still, if she gets Fiend's Grip, if she gets arrowed, she's done for. But, I mean, maybe the Dazzle will be there to save the day. Speaking of, one of these heroes has to be core. Ogre, Dazzle, and Lich. And I'd have to throw my hat in for the Lich. I think the Lich getting solo experience plus sacrifice would build him up to get some really valuable points in his skills. I mean, obviously you want at least 2 points in sacrifice, but you also probably want the Ice Armor maxed out to delay the push by putting it out on the towers. And then, of course, when PA gets in the action, you want it on her too.
And you're banking that this is going to be a probably mid lane or off lane Lich?
I think that it would be a mid lane because they can't counter push at all up top. They can't put any pressure out with a Lich other than pulling back to wave. It could go either way, but I think mid Lich sounds pretty promising here.
And it looks like they might be thinking about it though with the Viper ban as the last ban. This is getting me a little bit percolated here. Could also see a core Ogre. I'm not too sure how Balkan Bears feel behind something like that at this point. It is a game for them that really doesn't matter. It's not like this win is going to secure a spot for them in the playoffs. It's just another game where maybe they can help out. There it is. We're going to get to see the Meepo. He makes his way through in Weehaw like a champ and probably has to be one of the last games he can play here in the European Summit 2. A game that, like I just said, doesn't really matter. He's going to show us what he's got on his precious Meepo that he loves to play on his own personal stream time.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Shadow Wave. It's going to be really good with the clones. So just send them in and do the quick, big physical nuke along with, of course, the poof doing magical damage. So really good, quick burst. And I was talking about heroes that close distance really readily for bringing down the Drow Ranger. And Meepo, you get a Blink Dagger on him, and he's not just going to close the distance with one hero. He's going to send in the whole squad there. It's also a hero that, although he can be singled out pretty well by something like an Arrow or a Fiend's Grip, with the right micro, he can always kind of back himself up. He can provide the support, and a core Lich will enable them to have an early mechanism to keep him alive as well. So if the Dazzle's on point, if the Lich gets the mech quick enough, I think they can enable this Meepo to do some great things. And as far as lanes go, we've seen Meepo mid a lot. We've seen PA mid in the past. And then I think this Lich does have to go to the off lane unless they go for an aggro try.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be what they fall on. I know typically in his own personal time, you know, Weehaw does play Meepo in the mid lane, and Cloud9 have yet to really grab their mid laner. This could just be a support Mirana, obviously, with the Bane being more of the one to zone back the off laner. Who that may be, could be Lich. I don't know how they're going to fare with Lich there, but I imagine this is going to be a final grab. I mean, unless Mirana's going to be the off lane, and then this could be Fata's hero, which going against what looks like a Meepo, I mean, what do you reach for at this point?
I could go for an Earthshaker, could still go for that Puck. I think both have the potential to add into that pick-off potential a little bit there. I mean, you still kind of want to go with the theme of early tempo. The Drow is a tempo carry. There it is, the Puck.
I was just going to say, I like the Puck idea.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great Phase 2 pick, but finishing it off, it's not banned out, the Viper is. And I think the Viper ban has merit, because obviously the Nether Toxin is really good at delivering the finishing blow, the Executioner Strike against the low HP Meepo and taking him out. But the Puck in particular here is really good for finding those initiations, finding those openings, and keeping pace with what Cloud9 want to do. At level 6 and level 11 in particular, they want to be on the aggression. They want to use that marksmanship, bonus agility, the fact that everybody hits good with right clicks, and take it home. So we'll see how fast they can gain that momentum and how well Weehaw manages against it.
Yep, we'll see how far this Meepo can really shine here against Cloud9's ever so illustrious purpley blue stylish all-ranged lineup here from Visage to Drow, Mirana with the peanut butter and jelly, Bane, and now a Puck to just kind of finish things off. And very formidable standard Cloud9 kind of get going. Well, about the Balkan Bears, man, they have the nice spicy kind of lineup here. You got your Ogre, you got your Meepo. I'm really curious to see how they're going to manage to make it work, but we are going to need a small pause here coming out from the Balkan Bears, as we're going to have to wait one small moment. But as pointed out, at least how the Balkan Bears are not going to be able to advance with this win whatsoever, just kind of touching with Cloud9, who just come off a recent win. They are going to be pushed up towards the 3-2 mark, it looks like, unless this wasn't updated. Let me do the quick refresh. Nope, they are 4-2 right now, so a win here would push them up to 5-2, well into the mix. So that's what's at stake, and we're going to get underway. I'll go ahead and lead things off with introductions here for our final game of the day here for the Summit by G2A.com Europe. Leading up to the off lane, it is indeed going to be a Lich played by Haki. Mid lane, we are going to see none other than Weehaw himself. He's going to be playing that Meepo. Already, side by side, at least for now, it's going to be Levi or Levi. I don't know if that's been determined yet. I'll kind of stick with Levi for now, but what do you think?
I'll throw my hat into that. He runs the avatar for a character from SNK, also known as Attack on Titan, and that character is pronounced Levi in the Japanese, so that's what I would go with. I also have a friend from childhood named Levi, spelled the same way, so that's the way I like to call it.
I like Levi better as well, so I'm just going to keep with Levi. It sounds better. It makes him seem more handsome. I don't know. Bottom lane is going to be Solitude. He's going to be playing your Ogre McGee or Ogre Magi, and that does leave Padrino. He's going to be playing your core Phantom Assassin. So switching up the roles just a hair bit on the side of the Balkan Bears, but it looks like there's going to be a nice little trifecta down here on the bottom, with Lich being the offlaner.
So we'll have to see what they can really accomplish here. Cloud9 obviously have a clear, well-practiced strat ahead of them. I really think that this is a strong composition of heroes. It's actually one that Goblak tried to steal a little bit for VP Polar. Like, he ran the Puck, Bane, Drow Visage, and the fifth was a little bit different, I believe. But no matter the case, like, he was really all about this Bane staying on the front lines, being very tanky, doing a lot of work, and then following it up. We actually see the arrow will come out onto Solitude, but they just need to disengage. Actually, no Stifling Dagger, so I think that Pilot is going to be fine.
Levi does level Poison Touch here, and they seem pretty persistent about this one. I don't see him pulling off quite yet. They do.
Level 1 Phantom Strike does absolutely nothing for a gank like that.
Would have been too much of an overcommitment. Not going to be enough. Arrow on the way out. Woo! Nice little sidestep coming up from the fat guy. And he's going to go ahead and pull off the lead of this little swag back into the bottom lane. So, small tift, but nothing coming out of it. Oh, here, I just said, yeah, he's got a scratch on him. Oh, Bane! He might be in trouble. Pylai die. Poison Touch from the high ground. What a surprise! Oh, poor little Pylai die is going to fall. And it will be first blood towards your PA.
So, right now, Padrino getting off to a good start here. He will take some decent harassment, and they are going to go for the aggro duel, as it were. I mean, right now, Mirana and Bane, they're a well-known combo, and I think this is a really powerful combo when you're up against a solo safe laner. Like, I've seen this absolutely destroy in a 2v1 environment, but it's 2 versus 3. They might have a few issues with the lane, and I think that Padrino will still get some good farm.
Looking to make it work for now. I mean, this is just kind of the standard combo here. If Bone 7 gets an easy setup at any point from Pylai die with that sleep, they can just hit it home with a nice kill, but they are going against a lineup that can prove to be a bit of a nuisance here. Ogre is just constantly trying to act as the bouncer, preventing him from any sort of contention towards this pool, and with Dazzle nearby, he could look to get an early investment into that shallow grave in case things get too hot and heavy. They'll be right there and available to kind of remove any sort of unnecessary sleep tactic, and, you know, a grave for an arrow that could fly out and lock him in place. I think there's not going to be too much action happening here on the bottom, at least. Not a lot of secured kills unless they get the one end on the Cloud9.
So, we'll see. Kind of collaborative effort right now. Just okay. Wow. That was a man mode play from the Puck, trying to go for the Meepo there, and almost got him, but Weehaw, he does have a lot of good base magic resistance here. Survives because he has 35% magic resistance, and the Puck just gets a little bit too far forward. So, yeah, it's just a poof play, and it does bring him down.
So Weehaw brings in his first kill. Unfortunately, I don't show it there, but it is what it is. And for now, just going to get right back into the lane mix. And leading out your CS, it is going to be Eternal Envy, none other than himself, bringing in 11-8 for him. The Drow and mid lane. Puck, 10-4, still matching up, but does hand over a kill right there. Allows Weehaw to open up a little bit further. Now he's going to throw out the early net, steps forward. This is something he's just so used to. He just does this day in, day out, his mid lane play with his Meepo. This is just kind of another day in the park for Weehaw.
Yeah, so he actually, Puck jaunted forward in this, and then he just got earthbinded down. It really was an overcommitment by Foth. I think he underestimated the survivability of that lower HP Meepo. It's not the prime Meepo, but it still has a lot of beef to it, and yeah, I think that was just a bit of a misplay. I was looking at the combat logs, kind of getting a little bit of the action as I didn't see it on camera myself, but yeah, it was just straight up, he jaunted into 2 Meepos, and he got earthbinded down.
Alright, so quick reaction play there from Weehaw. Sports him his own kill. Pylai die eats a dagger and a quick jump in. Coming out, Padrino wants to get as much damage in as possible there on that Bane. Bone 7's going to try to keep her zone back. But just more footsie play coming up from both sides. Ogre moves forward. Now is going to have an Orb of Venom and Boots together. So the right clicker, the clubber, has that additional bit of slow to kind of run anyone down, and he could look to make some early movement here outside of this bottom lane.
Yeah, I think the real turning point for this game is when EE hits level 6. When he gets that marksmanship up, he's going to be rocking like 2 or 3 Wraith Bands. He's going to have this Precision Aura, maybe 2 points in it. Depends on how he wants to skill the Frost Arrows. But no matter the case, there's going to be a lot of damage coming out for Cloud9 as a whole. And yeah, he's just actually going for Agi-Tread straight up with the Band of Elvidskin coming through. Weehaw does make his rotation, will get the Earthbind onto Pilotai. And that might be enough to follow it up. Yep, second Earthbind comes out, and he has to TP away.
Arrow's going to be there, and he'll already sidestepped at that point. So the TP, after only the secondary Earthbind, is going to allow Pilotai to make his escape back to base. Weehaw's not going to get the easy grab on that support. And just takes what he can and walks back to the lane, leaving one to kind of farm up in the neutral camp, while the other one gets business done in the mid lane, taking advantage of that early bit of XP gain that this Meeple loves to get over with. Bottom lane, it's still Drow. Not Drow, sorry, Drow top lane. That's going to be bringing in the most farm, 24 and 14. Even a lot of denies coming in for Envy here. It's really hindering the Lich quite a bit, and they're punishing the unorthodox offlaner.
Yeah, if you look at Pilotai's inventory right now, he's actually quarrying up a magic wand to Boneside Ven's Mirana. Essentially, they both wanted the core at the same time. Fata needed a Bottle Crow, and Boneside just wanted his recipe to kind of compress his inventory there. And in the end, they do use the Bane to serve that purpose, which is a little fun. But yeah, right now there's not much to talk about. It's just CS Wars for now. When people start hitting level 6, that's when heads start rolling. For now, it's just a nice aggressive play from Weehaw, giving him some pretty good control of the lane. He's not winning in CS, but obviously getting that 1 kill, it makes it so that 2 CS difference is still going to be favoring Weehaw overall. He actually does try to go for another aggressive play because the Jaunt was used, but he's not willing to tower dive with that second Earthbind. Or is he? There it is, the double poof Fata! Oh, he does go for the Dream Coil, does go for the Phase Shift. Can they turn it around?
They're going for it here. Another poof flies out. Pilotai's on the scene. He wants to finish off Weehaw, and he gets it. The lingering Meepo behind is not able to stroll himself away from that one. Nice little rotation play as they almost were able to get a hold of that puck. Fata ends up returning back with a kill of his own. Now gets C9 on the board and make it 2 for 1.
Yeah, so I really think this Drow needs to start making contributions here. He is going for a 3-1-1 build, has so much agility, but they want that marksmanship and they want to start pushing off of that. For now, there's been some good pulling from Aoi 2000. He's up to level 4 already on the Visage without any kill contributions. But up top, there is some pressure. Can they get the Earthbind off of this? Marksmanship comes out, but already nullified.
Nope, second Earthbind. Envy's not going anywhere. They right-click her home, and it is going to be Lich that picks up that kill. He's been not getting a whole lot this lane. Only 5 CS up to this point, but that's going to be what takes at him. And he's going to be able to get a little bit easier time now in the top lane. And Envy, of all the people to get taken down, a nice grab and a good rotation play early here from Weehaw. That's just with 2 Meepos. I want more already. I want to see what he can bring to the table.
Ooh. Bone7 gonna get crit on, does not have leap available for 12 seconds. Will they die for it though? Another Stifling Dagger, but the Phantom Strike is a long cooldown, and he's not gonna be able to use to disengage just yet. Good damage from Fata. Looking to bring down Levi first though, actually Pedrino falls. And they do get the arrow on Levi too.
Very nice. Double grab right there. They rotate a lot over for it, but it's well worth it as they take down 2, including the PA. Cloud9 come out big with that one. Good rotation play. That Soul Assumption, man, goes a long mile and ends up taking it home. And with the Swift Arrow, they prevent the quick escape there from the Dazzle. Very nice work. As far as net worth goes, it's going to be your Puck still at the top. Neck and neck with Drow, so Cloud9, though they're falling short as far as kills, that big comeback is more than enough to set them about even here. So, very nice slow play start though.
Yeah, I think the real turning point is obviously when the familiars come out. For now, it's a 2-3 build for Visage, so not picking up any points in Gravekeepers, and it does leave him very vulnerable, but for the most part, he's not going to be in a danger zone. Actually going to see the Dream Coil out on mid. They want to bring down Weehaw. They do get the Gust, but they need to follow with Waning Rift to guarantee the kill. Nice play from Dazzle.
Dazzle gets right in there, but unfortunately he does not have the Grave out there to help out his Meepo friend, and he might go down. Oh, that Fire Blast though might prevent one lingering auto attack, and it does allow for a safe escape rather for the Dazzle. Nice little save right there from Solitude.
Yeah, I don't like Levi's build here at all on the Dazzle. I've talked to Zerv about this a lot. Like he plays Dazzle a lot, so he has a lot to say on the matter. But essentially, when you put a second point in Poison Touch, you're committing to maxing it out. There's not much value going from 1 to 2, or even 2 to 3. It's really when you get to 4. And actually, going to see Fiend's Grip down bottom. They can follow this up with the arrow, and it should be a short kill.
Nice quick kill right here. Just sets up very nicely for Pieliedie, taking full advantage of the ridiculous range that could be just pretty deceptive from that Fiend's Grip. And he could do that all game long with or without a BKB. And Bone 7's able to set up an easy arrow. And they clean up the kill, and they add some pressure on the bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah. But just to further that point a little bit, Levi, he gets a little bit of extra slow, but I don't feel that BBC have problems sticking to targets. They have a lot of slows. Every single hero has a way of slowing, or in Meepo's cases, permanently locking down that target, or fully locking down. Up top, it's going to be Haki.
Oh.
Not going to get the TP. Oh.
He just turned level 6, pulled out the birds, tried damn near hard as possible to get those stuns off, and it was just a little too late. Man, that would have been clutch if he would have got it.
Yeah, that timing. Oh my gosh, that was so close. It's still, I mean, it's a Lich that will escape, and he won't be able to hold this tower very well. He doesn't really have many options here. Like, he can Frostblast Harass away, but in the end, they're still going to see a lot of damage coming out of the Familiars. And I'll talk about the math on it in a little bit here once Drow kind of finishes on her build. But, oh, loses a Familiar already. That was his first summon, and he's down 1 bird.
I want the other one. Get up here, you fool.
No.
Ugh. And the tower hit. Ooh, ooh. Okay, they're not going to be able to get the secondary. It's a lot of gold to hand over, especially this early in the game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Out, so Puck now heading towards top lane, going to benefit from bottling up a sweet little bounty root, but Shadow going to get called out, and they ping it real hard on the side. I don't know if it didn't look like they had any sort of vision of that moonlight, but it's enough to kind of keep them back and playing a little cautious, which is the right call to make, because Fata's here. He has a coil ready to go. He wants to make something happen.
Ooh. Levi smoke up. They smoke up right near Levi, and they know that somebody broke their smoke. He has Grave this time around, but they've got the arrow, they've got the Fiend's Grip. They don't even need half that stuff as he goes down. Up top, we're going to see that one Familiar start going Rambo, but he's got the stone form, so it's practically immortal.
He gets nuked, brings him down pretty low, but Drow's going to be right there to focus back any sort of Ogre movement. That one Familiar stuns them briefly. I don't think they're going to be able to catch up with that. No, they get a hold of Alley right there. The Ignite coming in, but it is going to be the strike there for PA that gets it done. And meanwhile, it is going to be Bone 7 who grabs a nice grab right there, taking down Weehaw, it looks like, in the mid lane area. But at top, we've got more action. Your Coil finishes off your Lich, and now they move back on Fanta. It's PA. Can she get any sort of hefty crits here? She only gets the 1, but it's not going to be enough to stop her. From the high ground with the help of the stun from Familiar, it's EE dishing out the right clicks, but we'll step back, and Mirana catches another arrow. It's probably a super legit arrow, but unfortunately I don't catch it.
Yeah. The Fiend's Grip was used to bring down Weehaw, so that mystery is pretty well solved just based on getting in range to actually get the ultimate off. It's all you really got to do for Pieliedie in that situation. If you try to respond with Poof and then Earthbind, the animation of those two spells, it makes it so that he still gets like at least 3/4 of the channel off anyways, so not much you can do in that situation, especially with the Mirana right on top of you. So some good early kills come out for Cloud9, 10 and 4, and yeah, Eternal Envy is building up a ton of agility to work with, and he'll soon have the max precision aura, so a lot of kill potential on him exclusively, but across the board they get a lot of great right click damage.
Yep. Kendall would feel like a little more pressure here. Weehaw needs to start building under his Meepo, bringing all of his items online. He's got only the first components up for that Aghanim Scepter.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Booster, but he's going to need a lot more than that as he begins to spread things out, because Cloud9 slowly coming together for him. Now he already has his birds to work with. At the back end of that one, I mean, look at Eternal Envy's inventory right now. He's really building up some serious stats and damage early on. I mean, already look at her damage. It's 140 plus 44. 12 minutes in, it's not too shabby. They might consider going with an early Rosh here. They're already smoked up. They could be heading to that area right now.
Easily, yeah. The Frost Arrows plus Medallion makes us easy pickings. People just don't realize how good Frost Arrows are against Roshan, but adding in the fact that the Familiars get a huge bonus from this aura, 35 per right click, which you have to remember is every 0.4 seconds, so you can imagine 2.5 times the DPS and double that because there's 2 birds. That's 5 times 35 physical damage per second, and this Roshan is at 0 armor, so yeah, it goes fast. They get the Aegis, they get the huge experience boost, and that's almost enough to put Eternal Envy up to level 11 with the big marksmanship pickup. That's going to be huge.
We'll see what they can do with it here, as they have plenty more objectives to go for. But it's BBC who are mostly congregated towards this mid lane. They're trying to get Ogre. A little bit of solo farm. He's got himself up to level 7, so that allows him to have the level 4 Fire Blast with the multicast. So big burst, hopeful RNG to come their way. As they step on back. Rotation's going to come in. Drow. Yeah, this is going to be a full-blown commitment. Potentially, as Fata shows up. He has his coil at the ready. More timid action here. Balkan Bears are just kind of not really getting too many objectives done, not too many pickoffs. They can't really. They don't have the support staff to kind of make aggressive plays. They go for their own kind of pickoffs. It's just more slow, methodical, and allow Weehaw to come really online
Radiant's
with this
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So we'll see the pressure come out down on the bottom lane. They still got those familiars in play, and they do have 2 points in that marksmanship. It's going to be for Drino to try to hold it, but it's really, really hard to make that call. And Moonlight Shadow actually is going to come through as they chase on... Fata's actually getting chased down. They did pick off the Dazzler real quick. A nice movement there, but the fact that they get out scot-free with it is pretty huge.
Oh, Coil does catch Pedrino here. Fata, who's chased out and made him come back from behind, but the Fiend's Grip once more coming out from Pylite Eye. An additional assist from those familiar birds thanks to Owie. Makes for an easy pickoff right there on PA behind her own tower, and they just finish off that tier 2. Things continue to get better and better right now for Cloud9 as we get ready to approach the 15-minute mark in the mid-game.
Yeah, just nice movement across the board, and they're able to obviously execute at a higher level than any other team when it comes to this strategy. They know what they want, they know how to get it, and they across the board know exactly how the numbers work with these heroes. They've run the strat plenty of times, many emulate it, but few perfect it. And to this degree, it's just absolutely immense. Once that Aghanim Scepter comes out for IO 2000, there's so little that BBC can do. It's really unfortunate to be up against this, but I mean, how do you ban and draft against this team? I mean, you ban the Terrorblade because you're afraid of that, but then you see this Drow Visage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Stepping on back and above. Sorry, I was looking at the mic issue at hand, and of course they're going to break out in a fight at the same time. Long ball Soul Assumption catches on Lich on his way out after they already take down PA once more. Fata can't quite get a hold of, unfortunately, that last grab that could have been there for Ogre, and Ogre will step on through.
Is under attack.
I do see the problem.
Fix
the audio problem, as that's been a bit of a nuisance here. But
is that on your end or mine? Because I've been messing with a bunch of stuff as well.
See, the weird thing is, to me, you sound just Jim and Dandy. Everything good. I don't know if that's something with Dota TV, if they're talking about from the inside of the game, but on my end you sound fine, so I fear it's something on my end that's not really there. But regardless, arrow set up, sleep, easy burst, Dazzle falls. And now they can add even more pressure on tier 2. This is just proper execution. Another brilliant setup. Pylite Eye just makes it so good with that Fiend's Grip, and the team work together. They can follow it up with the excess damage. PA goes down once more. Cloud9 just showing that with a Cloud9 matchup against the team at Balkan Bears, they're just styling on him at this point. Clean out another step back, go for the tier 2. Easy peasy.
Radiant's top
really nice move across the board. BBC just honestly, they didn't have the time to get their legs underneath them. If they did pick up something like a Crimson Guard, people are wondering how to counter this strat. And the one thing I have to tell you is if you're worried about familiar damage, get a Crimson Guard. You can take out like 200 agility worth of bonus damage from these familiars just by a Crimson Guard, because they seem to hit hard, but that's only when they have the charges. After they lose the charges, it's all about how fast they attack, and obviously you're blocking every single auto attack with Vanguard and with Crimson. So that's a neat little pickup if you can farm it, but in this case, they barely have the net worth on any one hero to actually make that work. Either way, right now it's getting pretty monstrous. The Drow Ranger with 52 damage to all heroes, and again, that means that with 2 birds up, that's 250 physical damage per second added to Owie 2000 Ultimate.
Old 7 gets a very nice solo pickoff on the top lane, just catching out Lich very easily with an arrow, and then they just follow it up. He's got a Diffusal Blade, so this Mirana now is even hitting pretty damn hard and can find kills like that. It's going to enforce BBC to have the buddy-buddy system even more so than they already have, is moving as a group. But they can't quite do that. The Meepo still needs to come online. He needs to get to that point. He does have his Aghanims complete, but really nothing else to show for it. And this game is getting very, very heavy on Weehaw's shoulders.
Howie 2000 is 300 gold off this active stuff. You better believe he's going to buy out for it. Nice pickup on Mirana, though. They do find that opportunity there. Of course, when you're moving around with Meepo Prime, you have a lot of stats to work with here with the Aghanim's. All you need is one disable, and you'll find an opportunity. But to have actually burst him down that fast, where he can't even get the leap off, that's pretty big. So once we see the Blink Dagger come out, he'll be able to do that by himself. But for now, the Ogre gives him the setup he needs.
Yep, and they're right-clicking to the Ancients right now. Have a little bit more time to work with, a little more space, but that's more time for everyone else to farm. Eternal Envy, man. St. Jin Yasha on this Drow. This is an interesting.
Oh yeah, I don't even find it all that like weird. Like a lot of people look at that and are like, oh, why not Manta? Da, 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 da. But honestly, Manta is a terrible item on Drow, and anybody who builds it is not considering the merits of St. Jin Yasha comparatively. Like, the active is good for defensive play. Oh, I can't even go into it. We got the kills on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, Big Coil catches 3 of those Meepos, and just a sweet little follow-up is enough to burst down one of them, and well, that puts Weehaw in the grave. And now Cloud9 are just going to parade themselves down this mid lane, start bringing it into this tier 2, and they're just going to be like, what are you going to do about it? We're Cloud9, and we got Visage Drow. You're not going to be coming anywhere near us. We got plenty of right-click damage. Look at Howie's birds. They hit so freaking hard, it's ridiculous. Now they're creeping forward. It's just, we got that tower. You still can't do anything. These birds are just going to start leading the charge. This tower, now down to half life. Lich is like, please, please stop. I just made that thing.
Exactly.
We're going to finish it off. Nice, easy tier 3 following the tier 2. Now this Chain Frost kind of being a nuisance, but not enough to make them stop. We'll see if they want to play a little bit safe and kind of step back, or if they're very eager to end this game and will still linger about.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I don't know, it's just like, at this point, there's so little you can do to deal with it. The damage has already been done, the tempo is here. I'm talking fast about a lot of points because I know this game isn't going to last much longer, and it's sad to say, because obviously we'd love to see the Meepo come into full potential. We'd love to see this Phantom Assassin just wreck, but unless Cloud9 make a huge mistake, this game is theirs in 5 minutes. It's got to be BBC to pull something amazing out, get some great pickoffs. The mechanism will help, because they do need armor, but honestly, it's just get that ice armor up on everybody. Haki needs to just constantly be spamming that spell because they don't have a chance otherwise. Fata, though, might get picked. They look for the opening, but he blinks out too fast.
Just being a little bit of trouble up here for him to just kind of keep their attention elsewhere as Cloud9. They gather up here. Do they have a smoke ready to go?
Look at all the smoke picks. Blaze it. This is just, they want to get active. That's the bottom line there. And yeah, there are going to be people questioning what I said about Manta, and I shouldn't say it as absolute as that, but essentially Manta's only good for the active effect. Not the illusions, but the ability to dodge things, ability to break out of debuffs and stuff like that. That's valuable, but otherwise, St. Jin Yasha gives you everything you want and more, because the one important thing to think about for the illusions is they don't benefit from marksmanship at all. But,
you blink, you're not going to see Dazzle fall down. Fata, still in the midst with 2, drops his coil, making it really work for this one. He goes into a shift, pops out, nice blink. He's able to get away before taking any sort of damage. He's going to give him an orb as a little goodbye gift, but Lucas creeping down the mid lane. Banks. It's going to be Pylai Dai. Greets him back with a little bit of a nap. And now they turn their sights on the PA. It's a Soul Assumption, trying to right-click it home on EE, and they do burst down Drow, who's in a very weird position, but they do get a hold of her. And now Meepo tries to burst, can't get anything off. He ends up getting quickly taken down. It's Pylai Dai going on a spree with Owie and these birds that constantly bring it on home. Without the aura, though, not going to have a whole lot of extra damage. Now they do manage to take down Owie. Fata jumps forward, however, quickly Daggins and cleans out Dazzle once more. Now Fata caught by the fountain here, getting jumped in from PA. There's a shift, can pull out the blink. Nope. Gets ripped down.
Well, they're getting kills, they're getting gold, and they're going to rubber band, but if they lose their racks in the process, it's not really that valuable. 2 buybacks and they still come up 3,000 gold in advantage. That's pretty beautiful, but all the same, it's not enough to give them answers. Like, the Lich buys back, he doesn't even finish the mechanism. Oh, I hate to see that. I honestly think, like, the only way that they could possibly claw their way back in is if Weehaw goes for a Crimson Guard right now. Like, if you can get that up on all his Meepos and they're just, like, nearly immune to these familiars, that could be nice, but as it stands, they're just taking tons of damage. Fata's in a mode with this Dagon where he can just insta-give the Dazzle, who is another great source of armor if he actually skills up the Weave. And, yeah. But, right now, BBC, they are looking for something, just any more kills to bring them back into it. This Cloud9 strat, though, it has obviously shown what it's capable of.
Yep. It's been through some of the best and biggest and longest matches. recent Cloud9 history, as the Balkan Bears are ones to try to tussle with it now. They are smoked up checking out the Roche area, but they're not at Roche, which is getting manhandled. His Birds, the arrow catches on Levi, and he ends up going down. Aui gets a quick double. Coil catches on Weehaw, who might be stuck. Moves in a Meepo who's already about dead. That Meepo goes down, and now Phantom Assassin, he's on the other side. He'll go down next. Easy work. Fiend's Grip right there. Actually makes his way out. Cuts up towards Mirana, but can't find the ways. Cloud9 just easy pickings one after the other. Unfortunate for BBC, who are banking on the fact that they could try to maybe make a Roche contention. Cloud9 weren't even thinking about it, but now they are. They move on in, and they'll take care of Roche.
So, we will see that the Aegis comes out for Drow Ranger, also closing in dangerously close to level 16. The last piece of the puzzle for them to finish this one off. Not sure if they even need it. Right now they have just such a strong lineup with the ability to kill off anybody, unless like we see the most RNG possible on this Phantom Assassin. They're fighting strong. BBC that they held well, but in the end it's 24 minutes and they don't have the answer. They kill Drow now or they lose the game.
Radiant's middle barracks
Soul Assumption flies, just a little bit of a tickle there to Ogre as he steps back with a Fire Blast. He's going to have to 4-step away back to Fountain.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's Cloud9 here. They clean out the secondary set of racks. They're putting attention now towards the bottom. You would love to be able to just put a little more damage on this base, and there's really nothing that can be done from the side of BBC, who are already tussling with Birds as it is. Brave is going to save Ogre for now, but he's immediately to fall right after. Coil catches. Phantom Assassin trapped on the inside. Lich falls promptly after, gets off his Chain Frost, but the Birds kind of take that one out and away with the Moonlight Shadow. They can't focus anyone. Now it's just cleaning up the rest of the base. Balkan Bears probably going to consider throwing in the towel.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even get the mech out on Lich. By the end of it, tough game. 8-33 is the end kill count here, 25 minutes in. Cloud9, they're Drow Visage. It's everything you expect. Well played to them.
Well played indeed. As we get ready to approach the time on the hour, we have made our way through 7 Summit 2 European games. Whew, the fatigue was hitting me for sure, Blaze. I don't know about you, but getting to the back end of that one, I'm sure these players are exhausted. They might even have more Dota ahead of them. More power to them, but we have made our way here. Props to Cloud9, man. They play a Cloud9 kind of a lineup, and they show why they're some of the best at doing it, as they easily take down the Balkan Bears. Now, Balkan Bears already sitting at the bottom as it is. Record now going to be 1-9, but Cloud9 getting themselves back on up are going to move themselves into a 5-2 record, so they are just tied with everyone else. Now we'll kind of wrap things up. It's been a pleasure as always. Blaze, thank you so much again for coming back and also toughing yourself through these 7 games. Any last words before we let you go?
Not too much. I mean, it's been a lovely marathon. Pleasure to be able to cast it with you here and see some awesome teams play out here in the Summit. I think as we close it down, I think obviously like the BBC, like you said, they weren't fully committed because of the fact that they are already out of the event, but I still think that they showed what they could do. They got some respect from some people just based on how well they could perform up against the Tier 1 teams, and even if they can't take wins, they will show their chops at the very least. Other than that, thanks for having me. Shout out to my son Benjamin. I've left my wife with him for plenty of time, so I'm going to go ahead and tend to him, but it's been an absolute pleasure casting these games with you, and hope to do it again sometime.
Thanks, Blaze, and again, to show him a little bit of your support, catch him on his Twitter, @BlazeCasting. For myself, I'm Coddle Guy. Catch me over on my Twitter, Coddle Guy. Guys, it's been great. Please make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, and we'll be back later for more Summit 2 action. Take care.